Welcome to today's episode of Heard and Seen Around. I am Rajesh Karipurath. This is my take on macroeconomic and geoeconomic data points, which I find interesting. I hope you enjoy watching it as much as I enjoyed curating it. Cheers.
Synergy, when two problems are combined and presented as a solution. Urgent, important enough to disrupt your day, not important enough to be planned. Networking, exchanging business cards so you can forget each other professionally. Deadline, a motivational concept, not a medical condition. Experience, what you get right after you needed it.
The 2026 GDP scoreboard shows that the US is still boxing in a different weight class, nearly 1.5 times that of China. That gap isn't about population, it's about productivity, tech trends, energy independence, and a consumer that just won't sit down. China is still growing, but with structural headwinds. India and Japan share fourth, signaling momentum versus maturity. Bottom line, headlines love rivalries, but scale still matters, and America's balance sheet remains the market's default anchor. History's favorite prank. Brutal starts often age well, and euphoric openings don't. 2019 bled early, then rewarded patience. 2021-22 began with cheers and ended with scars. Today, FPIs are running for exits, while DIIs quietly deploy 10,000 crores. That gap usually matters, but only with a time lag, which investors hate. Markets don't move to be fair, they move to confuse and then to teach. 12 months from now, someone will call this obvious. Today, it just feels uncomfortable. As Jesse Livermore said, the market is never wrong. Opinions often are. Greenland mattered less when the Arctic was a freezer. Now it's becoming a shipping lane. Melting ice is turning the Arctic into a shortcut between the Atlantic and the Pacific. And Greenland sits right in the middle. It's closer to Washington than Copenhagen, already guarded by the US, wired into missile defense and rich in critical minerals. And add China sniffing around, Russia already entrenched, and a possible independence vote, and suddenly this icy island looks like the next Alaska. Geography did not change, ice did. Small and mid caps don't always outperform, they take turns. In every cycle, SMIDs sprint ahead in the upmove, then give back most of their alpha in the downturn. Higher volatility cuts both ways. Faster gains, deeper drawdowns. The mistake investors make is extrapolation, buying yesterday's winners at peak confidence. SMID alpha is cyclical, not permanent. Timing and valuation matter more here than bravado. As Benjamin Graham said, in the short run, the market is a voting machine. A handful of asset managers now oversee sums larger than most national economies. BlackRock and Vanguard alone sit on double-digit trillions, meaning capital allocation is increasingly centralized, passive and powerful. This isn't a conspiracy, it's plumbing. ETFs, pensions and demographics keep funneling money to the same few gates. The upside, efficiency and liquidity. The risk, crowded trades and synchronized exits. When everyone owns everything, diversification becomes a slogan and not a strategy. India's GST headline looks fine until you open it up. 1/3 of states saw GST revenues fall in FY26, including heavyweights like Tamil Nadu and Kerala. Southern states are slowing, while growth is concentrated in a few northern and western pockets. That's not a demand boom, it's an uneven recovery. For state finances, this means tighter budgets, louder demands for transfers, and less room for Capex. National averages are calm, state level stress is not. Central public sector expenditure Capex has already hit 73.6% of the FY26 target by December. Steady, unglamorous, and exactly what a slowing economy needs. Railways and the NHAI continue to anchor public investment, keeping the infra engine humming while private Capex remains selective. This isn't stimulus theatrics, it's execution. The real test now is sustainability into Q4 without fiscal slippage, but for growth optics, public Capex remains a spine. As Deng Xiaoping said, it doesn't matter whether a cat is black or white, as long as it catches mice.